Welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. My next two guests, two funny guys. Dave Attell and Jay Okerson. Dave?
Artie, thanks for having us on.
Of course. And Jay?
What's up, brother?
Jay, good to see you, man.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me on
It's
again.
a good surprise, yeah. So what, so you're talking about the Comedy Underground.
Yes.
This show you had that me and Jay are both a part of.
You did us all a great favor by dropping by. Comedy Underground, in the great tradition of Caroline's Comedy Hour and Evening at the Improv, and of course, legendary, HBO, they used to do that. Young
It was
comedian.
a fun hang. The night I was there, you had Earthquake, Jay was there, Russ Maneve, a bunch of great guys, comics hanging out, and you could be filthy on this show. That's
right. I just host. It's not my show. It's for the comics. And it's a place where, like, guys can do uncensored, unfiltered material.
Right.
And that, as we both know, is a rarity in today's times. You know?
No, I mean, it's politically incorrect fun, hopefully.
To get anybody to watch anything, you either need, like, a dragon or a zombie in the room to get anybody to even focus now.
Well, you can tell nerds took over Hollywood. Like, every kid who was a nerd in the 70s and 80s.
Right.
Because everything's a vampire, everything's a zombie, it's a comic book. It is kind of annoying.
I think chicks like the vampire thing. Vampires and that's more like chick. And me.
There's
me
always
and
hot
chicks.
Me too.
I do like
I'm
a good
feminine in that
story.
regard.
No, but there's always hot chicks in the vampire thing. Yeah.
But I never do it for the hot chicks. I like vampires.
Well, that show True Blood was like, oh my God, it's almost like porn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it still is.
It was this side of porn. It really was.
So when does it start airing?
My special, The Road Work, airs at midnight Eastern,
Right.
and that's me bouncing to 5 different clubs. You've toured with me,
Yeah.
and we've done the theaters, but I always tell you, like, I'm not a theater guy.
You like
I'm
the
a club
clubs.
guy.
Yeah.
So we did 5 clubs. Stress Factory in New Jersey.
Oh, that's great.
The Hookie Lao in Chicopee, Mass.
I've done that.
Yeah. One Eye Jacks in New Orleans. Which, by the way, is a great name for anything. One Eye Jacks, come on down. 2 for 1s. And, I'm trying to think, Acme in Minneapolis.
Oh,
great.
that's
and
an awesome
Philly
club.
Helium Club. Philly.
So all great clubs. I'm glad
Yeah.
the Stress Factory's in there.
Yeah, that is a great club.
Vinny
and,
Brand and the Stress Factory.
Vinny Brand did me a solid. He's a great guy. He's also a comic himself, so he really got it. He really liked the project. And, that I did low budget with my own camera. I give cameras to people in the audience, like a kind of a Beastie Boy kind of thing, Radiohead. And we took those elements and we put it in the series. And it really does work in the Comedy Underground thing. I think all the comics really enjoyed that. It was close. The audience was right there.
That was
Wasn't
lot
a big
of fun.
theater.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, absolutely.
And throwing them the cameras kept them like involved.
They did.
And we were allowed, and the fact we were allowed to talk to them was huge.
Yeah.
Like, so usually they would deter you from doing crowd work.
Well, you're amazing at crowd
On
work.
TV.
You did
Thank
such
you,
great
man. Thank
stuff
you.
there. How many of them did you do, the Comedy Underground?
8.
8 of them.
8 shows.
And they start airing right after your special.
Yeah, 1 a.m.
That's great.
And I'm here to thank you both for doing it. And also, this is a big comedy day. I know you guys were talking about Sam Kinison.
Kinison died 22 years ago.
Talking about it all day long. I remember where I was when he passed. That was a real shock to me. I think I was at SNL, actually. At
Were
the
you
time.
really?
It was either at SNL
I
or
thought
it was
you were
the-
writing there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Bill Hicks, I was at SNL, that's for sure, when he passed away.
Okay.
So Sam, I probably was already, like, I was a comic, but I still was, like, in love with the dude. He was great. And I didn't really appreciate him until later on.
Did you ever meet Kinison?
Never.
Yeah, I never met him either.
But I've met Mark Maron, who's met him all the time.
I did Maron's podcast a couple months ago, and he's got a couple of amazing
He's great.
pictures of him and Kinison.
He is, yeah.
Really, you could tell they're both just out of it.
Have you know Carl LeBeau?
Yeah.
So what's so great is him because he's such a sedate guy. I think for
Yeah.
the most part when you talk to him, and just these stories of like this crazy just coke fueled insanity.
Well, I
Just
just
see a
love
guy
the thought of like Maron trying to make jokes about William Faulkner and
Oh, yeah.
Sam Kinison screaming, "Give me some coke!" He was like the coke runner.
He has like a Nietzsche book in his bag. They pull it out, throw it in the garbage. You don't need to think here. Just
that
do.
was the last time. Kinison was one of the political correctness came in right after he died, and you couldn't do anything he did.
That's exactly right.
Anything he did,
And he got it old school, like when they would protest in front of the show.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
It's all cyber hate. But for him, if you really look back on what he did, like he really was like not only like a power comic, but also like his stuff was really good. Like
it was great.
You could not
that
like
stuff
it.
about the Jesus and the 12 apostles, Easter.
Oh yeah.
Like you leave your house Friday with 12 of your friends and your wife. Thank God Jesus wasn't married. Like, pardon me, I was dead. He died for your sins.
Because he comes from that preacher background and he knows all that stuff.
Well, yeah, he knew the Bible backwards and forwards, Kinnison, and could preach, but he couldn't close. Supposedly, when he had to get the money from the suckers, he couldn't do it.
Oh.
It was the family business, so he got everything he needed to perform, and then he couldn't get the money from.
He definitely is. I'd put him in my top 5 like comics that like I wish I had seen live. You know?
Yeah,
like, I really never got to see him live.
Did you see Hicks live?
Oh yeah. I actually.
Did you work with him a lot?
I never worked with him a lot, but I got to see him live a couple times. But his last show at Caroline's, I didn't go to that. So
Oh, no kidding.
That was I was like, oh, I'll see him next time. That was a mistake.
I mean, he did because he was pancreatic
cancer. Yeah,
that takes you out in 2 months.
Yeah.
Because he was only 32 years old.
I know.
That's
scary.
crazy.
That is scary as hell. He did all that stuff before 32. I mean, he was already a legend.
Yeah, he started at 15.
Yeah,
It's like one of those guys. That's the cool thing about this show, the Comedy Underground. What a horrible segue.
No, go ahead.
Is that we got new guys.
That's why I brought up pancreatic cancer.
Thank you.
I have to hit you.
My bullet
I have to
points.
hit you on the effing head.
We get new guys who've been doing it only a couple years, which is considered new in comedy now. Like 3 years, you get a sitcom, you know. So we got those guys, really funny guys like Pete Davidson, and I guess
Pete is funny. Well, don't bring Mike's all upset that Pete's having success.
I'm not having these guys bring stuff out of me, Dave. I like Pete. He's actually
Pete Davidson was here,
bringing up that name.
Yeah, Pete.
They bring out hostility to me.
Pete brought up that he's doing a sitcom and might be making $20,000 a week, and Bichetti went crazy.
I didn't go. No, these guys.
No,
These
you
guys
did.
bring a lot of hostility out of me, Dave.
But you both are
Mike,
from
you
Staten
went
Island,
nuts.
so aren't you glad when one of your own makes it?
I love Pete. He's a good friend.
See, I think it's the direct opposite. True.
Yeah. It is like a Devil's
agree.
Island there.
You can keep saying that. He's not demonstrating that with his
There
actions.
aren't a lot of Staten Island guys, if you think about it. It's really Bichetti
Not
and
really.
Davidson.
Thank.
As far as stand-up.
Yeah, but they have their own comedy festival every year. I know. I get the email all the time.
Oh yeah. It's
I to close the festival last year, I roasted Bichetti at a bowling alley. Highlight of my career.
Who else is from Staten Island? Pete Davidson.
I don't know if a lot of stand-ups, a lot of success.
Cropsey, the mythical Cropsey.
Yes.
Who lived underneath
Oh,
the
the
mental
ten-
hospital.
The urban
Paul
myth
Castellano.
prophecy.
the Tenderloins. Those guys that are on a show. What is that? That
Oh, yeah,
show?
the Impractical Joker.
The
Yeah.
Wu-Tang Clan.
It's true.
Oh, yeah.
Method Man, hilarious.
Method Man is very funny. Old Dirty Bastard was hilarious. We had him on Howard a couple of times. No funnier interview ever. Than Old
Really?
Oh,
but,
yeah.
he,
Dirty
but he
Bastard.
seemed to keep very like stoic as he told these insane life stories. That's what's great about him. He was the one that on MTV he got in trouble, right? Because he brought them on a run to go pick up like his $40,000 like residual check, and then to
Right.
go pick up like his welfare check or something like that.
It's
And it was
extraordinary stuff.
Then he got like went to jail for that, and was confused ever as to why.
Well, I became good friends with the cop who shot him. There was a guy, the Wu-Tang Clan was cruising around Flatbush in Brooklyn, and this guy used to be like a bodyguard for me. Started chasing him down because they made an illegal turn.
Right.
And they pull him over, and he sees this an enormous silver 44 Magnum come out of the car and just start shooting at him. He dove away and he shot and he hit Old Dirty Bastard. Old Dirty Bastard just shot at him because he pulled him over for speeding.
Oh.
Jesus.
And by the time he got down to the courthouse, Al Sharpton was waiting for him. For the cop.
Wearing a wire.
Yeah, how funny. Did you see him on the cover of the Daily News from 1978?
I'm
with
no
the
rat.
Processed.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Rat.
I'm a cat. No, he said
I'm no rat, I'm a cat. Yeah. Was that surprising to you that he was involved in some shady activity?
I never know. All I know is Roy Innes. Do you remember that guy?
Roy Innes, yeah.
He would come to the Comedy Cellar all the time and debate like city politics with Manny, who was the head of the Comedy Cellar.
right-wing.
Yeah. And it was like an old Jew and a activist going at it.
And Manny was
at the end of the day.
a Jewish right-wing guy. A
Zionist.
thing. Yeah,
Yes.
pretty much, yeah.
He thought Israel's boundary ends in, I guess you could say, Edison, New Jersey, and should be defended to the death. So
He was funny to talk politics with that. He was
a great guy.
Really
He would be so proud of Noam and all the people that work at the Cellar now.
Yeah.
How that place is blown up. It's huge.
He was a really good guy, loyal guy.
Yes.
And yeah, you're right. A complete like sort of paradox. He that story about Bob Dylan. Supposedly, he told Bob Dylan he was in the Cafe Wa when Dylan showed up in 1961, like with a guitar, and he watched them do a set, and he told him to go home. And he told him he sucked
That's great.
because I don't get it.
He also is the guy who passed on Mad Men at HBO. He had like a series of bad choices.
That's right. I mean, HBO could have had Mad Men. That's true. Good shot. I love when HBO screws up because it happens so rarely.
They always, you know, like, do you watch Mad Men? Do you watch?
Yeah, I love it.
You do?
I
right?
do. I'm a fan of Mad Men. Yeah.
Have you ever tried to explain that to like somebody under 25, like how cool the show is?
I know.
They're
It's
like,
perfect.
Yeah, it's like all just like horrible, like politically incorrect stuff. And
I know.
It really is like it's like smelling your grandpa. You know? It's like, oh,
But it is.
that's
If you think
good.
about it, that got Matthew Weiner. What a great excuse to do all that material. Like I'll just set it back then.
Yes.
And I can get away with it. It's perfect.
I love it. And the other show I was watching is the I do watch The Talking Dead.
I've never seen
Walking Dead and Talking
I've
Dead.
never seen that. I've never seen that.
You've never seen? Okay, well, you got to get into that.
I like Breaking Bad. I like Homeland. I like
shows.
most of the shows. I can't get into the zombie stuff. I don't know.
I don't like it.
You like Sons of Anarchy?
That I like. I haven't seen a lot of it, but I liked what I saw.
Yeah, I like that show.
We got to take a break. We're going to come back with Jay Okerson and David Attell. Again, it is Comedy Underground. It starts 1
First
a.m.
my special road work at 12.
One night?
April 12th. Okay.
April 12th, coming up.
Midnight. And then after that is Comedy Underground. So.
Check it out. Back after
The Artie Lange Show. Weeknights on Audience. Only on DirecTV.